Tonight is a community service of the New York Institute of Technology.
Covering the news of Nassau and Suffolk Counties, Long Island News Tonight with Ken Eckhart, Carol Peck, and the award-winning LI News team. Good evening. I'm Ken Eckhart, and here's what's happening. 2 men have been arrested and charged with drag racing on the Long Island Expressway, with deputies saying they reached speeds up to 140 miles per hour before crashing. Officials say the race happened a little after midnight yesterday morning, heading west, with both cars eventually leaving the highway and crashing in Islandia. 21-year-old Jeffrey Brown of Bohemia and 20-year-old Joseph Skarka of Central Islip have each been charged with racing, reckless driving, speeding, and fleeing an officer. Both of the cars reportedly had passengers in them during the race, but only one person was hurt in the crashes, one of the passengers who suffered a concussion. Deputies say the speed limit was 55, where the racers were hitting speeds up to 140 miles an hour. A Long Island father has been arrested for driving drunk with his young daughter in the car with him. Suffolk County Police say 52-year-old Sean Durham was heading east on Jericho Turnpike in Comac last night, when officers say he was driving erratically and they noticed a malfunctioning taillight. Then when Durham was stopped, they determined he was intoxicated and his 15-year-old daughter was in the car with him. Durham has been charged with DWI, and that's a felony under Leandra's law. Other charges include possession of cocaine. The attorney for a Long Island cab driver wounded in a dispute with 2 off-duty Nassau County policemen claims the officer who shot his client was intoxicated. William Petrillo said in court today he didn't have the evidence, but claims several sources told him medical records prove his assertion. William Moragan has pleaded not guilty to assault and reckless endangerment. Police say he tried to run down 2 off-duty officers early Sunday following a dispute in Huntington Station. But Moragan's attorney claims the off-duty officers were driving recklessly, and his client argued with them about that before the shooting. The Suffolk DA's office says the shooting was still being investigated. New problems reportedly found in the troubled Nassau County Police Crime Lab. Newsday says prosecutors have found the lab mismatched reports on blood alcohol tests in drunken driving cases last fall. The paper says police at the lab discovered the errors while reviewing documents in a contested drunken driving case. It says prosecutors ultimately discovered mismatched reports in 9 misdemeanor drunken driving cases handled at the lab. Governor Andrew Cuomo has appointed the state inspector general to review testing procedures and protocols at the lab. The lab closed after revelations that it was generating inaccurate measurements in drug cases. Well, with an April 1st deadline looming for the passage of a state budget, lawmakers have been traveling the state to hear what taxpayers have to say about the effects expensive Albany programs have on local budgets. Robert Marzano.
Long Island State Senator Jack Martin says he wants to make sure Albany isn't responsible for the high cost of living in Nassau County.
And in these tough economic times, local governments are being squeezed, not only villages, towns, and counties, but also school districts. They have to continue to provide basic services to local communities, continue to educate our children, continue to provide basic services on a local level. We have to make sure that Albany gets out of the way.
Martins chairs the State Senate's Committee on Local Governments. He, along with State Senator John Flanagan, hosted a public hearing in Mineola looking into the effects property tax caps and state mandates are having on Nassau County property taxes.
We're here to listen, and then we have to go back to Albany and act. For far too long, politicians in Albany have not been responsive on things like helping business do business in a better and easier fashion.
one of the concerns expressed by some of the senators here today were the high taxes that New York State has that are driving young people away and not allowing businesses to flourish during these tough economic times. And Port Washington resident Judy Epstein says she's worried about what the high taxes will mean to local school systems.
If we don't also at the same time get mandate relief, mandate reform of all of the costs that are imposed on school districts that we have no choice about, if those don't happen together, I am very concerned that we will have to damage our very fine school system.
In Garden City, Robert Marzano, LI News Tonight.
A Long Island man has been charged with DWI after police say he hit a 66-year-old pedestrian, seriously injuring him. Police say 37-year-old Philip Chase of Ronkonkoma was driving on Avenue B in Ronkonkoma Wednesday afternoon when he hit the pedestrian. An automated external defibrillator was used on the victim. At the scene, he was taken to a nearby hospital, listed in serious condition. According to detectives, Chase had an active arrest warrant and was charged with driving while intoxicated and driving without a license. Police say they're hoping to hear from anyone who may have witnessed that accident. Well, it was a down day on Wall Street today. The Dow finished the day down 88 1/3 points. NASDAQ was down just over 14 points, and the S&P was down almost 10 points. NYIT's LI News Tonight continues after this.
Create your own Mardi Gras mask at the Brentwood Public Library on Tuesday, March 8th at 11 a.m. For more information, call 631-273-7883. See a screening of the film Mildred Pierce at New York Institute of Technology's D. Seversky Center in Old Westbury on Wednesday, March 9th at 5:30 p.m. For more information, call 516-686-7567. Learn about the biggest hits and flops on Broadway from 1959 through 2009 at the Friedberg JCC in Oceanside on Wednesday, March 9th at 7:30 p.m. For more information, call 516-634-4154 or enjoy a free Baroque concert at the Carriage House at Bayard Cutting Arboretum in Great River on Sunday, March 13th at 2 p.m. For more information, call 631-224-5420. If you have an event you'd like included on the LI News Tonight community calendar, send it to LI News Tonight at nyit.edu.
In Melville, J.B. Buno, LI News Tonight.
In Bethpage, Stephen Katove, LI News Tonight.
At Belmont Park, Sophia Allen, LI News Tonight.
These are just a few of the people who have been reporting the news for LI News Tonight over the past year, and you could be one of them. Television news is an exciting and challenging career that could put you in the middle of what's happening and in touch with the people who are making the news. A career in television news journalism can offer you the opportunity to work as a reporter, camera person, or videotape editor, or any number of behind-the-scenes jobs, including producing or manning the assignment desk. And it's a career that can be yours by joining the LI News Tonight news team. Produced at studios on the campus of the New York Institute of Technology, LI News Tonight offers television news internships that can earn you college credits and the possibility of being on the air in just a few weeks. LI News Tonight has been the jumping-off point for many local and national news professionals, and you could be next. Call 516-686-7952 for more information on how to enroll for LI News Tonight, and let us put you on the air. Some world headlines today. Forces loyal to Muammar Gaddafi fired tear gas at protesters marching in Tripoli today, calling for the Libyan leader to go. The demonstrators defying a fierce crackdown by Gaddafi. The tear gas scattered the crowd, but the protesters regrouped and the security forces fired live ammunition, scattering them again. Meanwhile, Egypt's new prime minister designate has vowed before thousands of demonstrators in Cairo that he'll do everything he can to meet their demands, pleading they turn their attention to rebuilding the country. And Tunisia's new premier says he'll present a new cabinet soon to help get beyond the recent bout of violence in the North African country that led his predecessor to quit. The U.S. is asking Iran for information about a retired FBI agent who vanished in the country 4 years ago, now that evidence has surfaced that he is still alive and being held. A day after revealing recent indications that Robert Levinson is alive and being held somewhere in Southwest Asia, Secretary of State Hillary Rodham Clinton said today that the Obama administration is doing everything it can to bring him home. Yesterday, it was reported that Levinson's family received proof late last year that he was alive. Iran has repeatedly denied any knowledge of Levinson's welfare or whereabouts, but Clinton noted that Iranian officials had offered help in the past. And the wife and lawyer for a U.S. government contractor charged with seeking to undermine the government of Cuba have arrived at a Havana court for the start of his trial. The proceedings against 61-year-old Alan Gross are expected to have an impact on U.S.-Cuba relations, particularly if he's found guilty and sentenced to a long jail term for illegally bringing communications equipment into Cuba. Prosecutors are requesting a 20-year jail term for the Maryland native. Cuba hopes to use the case to focus attention on multi-million-dollar U.S.-funded democracy-building programs that Havana says seek to overthrow the government. A Long Island hospital is celebrating a success story that it says may change the way doctors treat patients with sickle cell anemia. Tanya Carvalho reports.
18-year-old Hunter Haymore of Queens is one step closer to fulfilling her dreams. She's finally cured of sickle cell anemia after undergoing a bone marrow transplant from a compatible, unrelated donor, a first for the Cohen Children's Medical Center in New Hyde Park.
I'm excited, happy. I don't know what to do now. So many things out there now.
Hunter is part of an ongoing experiment by the National Bone Marrow Registry to find donors. Her story is unique because her donor wasn't related to her. In order to save more lives, doctors say they need more donors, primarily from minority groups such as African Americans who are underrepresented.
I mean, we're sitting here because someone unrelated to us, they don't know us, they have no idea who we are, we have no idea who they are. But someone called them and said, someone needs you. And they said, I'll do it. And now, you know, Hunter is cured of this disease that really controlled our lives for 14 years.
Doctors say Hunter's story offers hope to others suffering from this genetic blood disease that affects up to 100,000 people in the U.S., most of them African Americans, because it shows bone marrow from someone unrelated can work. Hunter says she can now look forward to dancing again, and it's all thanks to her mystery donor.
I would like to say thank you for the donor, even though I don't know who you are. If you're out there, I'm the one that you donated the bone marrow to. And thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
In New Hyde Park, Tanya Carvalho, LI News Tonight.
Police say a woman at a NYIT liquor store swept her arm through a shelf of high-priced alcohol, smashing $1,600 worth onto the floor because she felt a clerk was taking too long to wait on her. Surveillance video from the Right By Wines and Liquors in Nyack shows the woman sticking out her right arm as she strides out of the store back on February 23rd. She knocks dozens of bottles from a waist-high shelf, breaking many of them. The owner's son says the damage included bottles of pricey Johnny Walker Blue Label scotch. Police said today the woman has turned herself in and is due in court, but has not been charged. Well, we had a mostly sunny day today. The high was up into the low 40s. Tonight, mostly cloudy, with a low in the mid-30s. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy day, but a high up into the low 50s. Sunday, chance of rain moving in with a high in the mid-50s. Monday, rain continuing with a high in the low 40s. And the outlook for Tuesday, the sun comes back with a high in the mid-40s. And that's it for NYIT's LI News Tonight. I'm Ken Eckhart. Thank you for watching. We'll see you again on Monday. Have a good weekend.